Hey, look what we're working on again. All right. Issue is that after a few years, front shocks can get worn, especially on a car as big as the El Camino. And some of the signs are, bumps a little more jarring than they should be, and generally a little bit feeling a little squirrely, driving down the road, hit a little bounce and, maybe the wheel gets a little looser than it should be, that kind of thing. So we're going to go ahead and change the shocks today. Now, this is an older car, and because it's an older car and uses regular shocks, the old bounce test kind of works. In fact, what we'll do here is actually bounce it a little bit. We'll see just how, kind of loose it is. Let's see, watch this. Yeah, it's a little too much play there. So we're going to fix it. Now, what we're going to need is a few tools. Of course, we're going to use again, much like the rear shocks on the Formula, we're going to be using our shock tool again to hold the top nut because it's the same kind of design. And looks like about a 1/2-inch wrench and a couple of bolts on the bottom. Honestly, on a difficulty scale, this should be just above doing an oil change, really. It's going to be more of a pain to get the car set up than it is to actually do the job. So, let's get going. Alright, these are the shocks we're going to change them with. AC Delcos. And these are the 520-5s, which fit just about everything made to GM up to about 1990, really. But these are the shocks. These are just a step up from the standard grade. They're about $30 a shock, as opposed to 16. Again, not the most expensive thing I could put on there, but not the cheapest either. So, anyway, that's the shocks we're going to put on. And they look like, whoops. There you go. There's the shock. Again, looks very much like the rear shock, except that the tabs on the bottom there are different, but other than that, it looks a lot like the rear shocks on the Formula. And we got a little hardware kit here. Some bushings and such. So, some hardware. So there you go. So there we go. Okay. You can see this mess. Here's the deal. Our shock tool for some reason wasn't fitting over the top of that stud. So what we did was clamp a pair of vice grips over the flat part of the top of the shock. And we've got an open-end ratcheting wrench, 9/16 on the bottom. You can kind of see it there. There's the vice grips to hold on to, and under here you can see I've got the wrench on the nut. Otherwise, that thing will just spin. You'll also notice I had to get the tire off because, of course, I needed this access. But I used a jack because I had to jack up the suspension here underneath the A-arm to give me some access under here. Otherwise, I couldn't get to that nut. So it's kind of a convoluted process. Nothing's ever easy, is it? Anyway, I'm going to loosen this thing, get this shock out, then get the two bottom bolts out and pop the shock out. All right. These two bolts right here, if you could see them, right there. These are the only things holding the shock in now. We got the top loose, and these are 1/2-inch. Well, let's take those loose. Use a 1/2-inch ratchet. All right, see the new shock, old shock. We took those two bolts out of the bottom here, and it just basically fell right out. Now, A quick test, see how good a shock is. That one's kind of, it doesn't compress very easy, does it? Pushing it down, nothing's not really happening. Here's our old shock. See? So there you go. Hey, while we got these things off, here's a little trick I do. Get some rust on those on your lug nuts or on your studs, lug nuts on your studs for your lugs. Well, depending on where you are, that can make it tough to get a tire off or a lug nut off if you need to. What I like to do is take a little penetrating oil, like 3-in-1. I spray it in one of the lugs. And then I take them over to the actual lug I want with a rag. And what I do is I put the rag under so I don't get any oil dripping onto the rotor here, so I don't contaminate the disc brake pad, but just to catch it, and I just thread the lug on. So, kind of like this. So I've got it under there, and you just thread it on. All the way in. And all the way out. And you get the rust off both the inside of the lug nut and the threads. You see the rag caught all the excess. There you go. Just a little trick. You might be real thankful for it if you ever have to change a tire. So there you go. Alright, pretty easy stuff. As you saw on the old shock over here, we're going to assemble the new one just the same way. Washer, grommet, washer, and then nut. And we have our little parts kit here. So just put this there. Put one of these here. And we'll put a tiny bit of grease on these, even though these are rubber. Just to help them a little bit. Synthetic grease, by the way, not petroleum. We don't want to start breaking them down too early. So, let's see about getting it on the car. Oh, hell no. What? This car is a bitch. All my cars are a bitch. What we've done is we're going to hang it from the top first. So at least we have something holding this thing so we're not fighting gravity as well as tension. And then we'll get the bottom two in, and that should pretty much be the job. So, and I'm just getting started by spinning the shock. Let's see that. Do this by hand until I can't do it no more. So, you see, we've got it in there. Tennessee. We got it in there. We started it by hand. If you look down here, you can see as well. So we started it by hand from the top. Now we're going to try to get this from the bottom. Oh, fuck. All right. This is the rough part. You may have to use a jack again. We will see. lined up. There we go. All right, let's finish up with getting the top tightened down. We jacked up the lower control arm again, because what we want to do is finish tightening up this top bolt. Once we do that, shock should be in good shape. All right, guys, let's see how we do now with the bounce. That's a lot better. So, and you can see we're actually riding a little bit higher. We were riding too low. This thing was sitting so low, I actually had trouble getting the jack underneath it, and I could never had a problem getting a jack under this car. So, and one of the shocks was shot, as you saw. So, anyway, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching.